All right, boys, here we go again. Year 4 playoffs from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And this is the year in which GM Superman guaranteed a Stanley Cup victory. That's right, putting all the pressure on myself, my coach, and my players. But you know what? Guys like Stewart, Thornton, LeCavalier, they may retire after this year. They may get worse. We may trade them. So, this is our best chance for at least another 2 or 3 years to win the Stanley Cup. We're not going to be as good as a team as we are this year, as we are going to be next year, okay? Because Thornton and LeCavalier, they're 89 overall. Stewart is an 87 overall. Yes, we have young guns who will eventually become that good. I don't think they'll be that good next year. Maybe in 2 or 3 years. So this is the year that we have got to win the Stanley Cup. Now, before we get started, there's 2 things I got to remember to do. First, got to turn on the injuries, because we're back in playoff time, so we'll get those injuries on. And second, you guys wanted to see the progress reports from our AHL team. I forgot to do that in the last video, so we'll quickly take a look at that because that actually does make sense because they're the young guns of the future. So, here we go. No, that's NHL. AHL, there we go. So, Fensky went up by 10. He's a defensive defenseman for us, I believe. So that's a good defenseman prospect for the future. And look, his defensive awareness went up by 4. And he's only 21 years old still, so that's good. Beaulieu went up by 10, and look at this guy's offensive category. Good God. Man, his defensive category is not that good, but you know what? He's only 22 years. And remember, before I get started on that, remember we traded Beaulieu, Malcolm Subban, and a first-round pick for Doan and Solani, and you guys were saying that was crap. Oh, yeah, not looking too crap anymore. Beaulieu's turning into an amazing defenseman. Subban may turn out to be a good goalie. And that first-round pick we turned into Trent Lofthouse. So, I don't know. I think that trade is pretty good now that we can look back in hindsight. But what I was going to say, yes, he's 22 years old. Now, his defensive category, look, it's not that good. But if we gave him NHL ice time, by the time this guy's 28 years old, his defensive category would be lower 80s. It would be doable. And his offensive category would be, probably the best in the league. Because it's already like this, and he still has his A, maybe an A- now for potential. So what I'm saying is, from the age of 28 to 34, this guy's going to be top 5 defenseman in the NHL, no doubt. But it's still the weak defensive category. I know I keep saying I'm going to trade him next year at the trade deadline because we still have 1 more year left after this year of a 2-way contract. I may have to look at that again because this guy, you can't ignore his offensive category. It's getting really high up there, and it will only get higher. If he gets 90s in every category, he could have 50s in all the defensive category. He could still give you something on your team, at least for the power play. So I may have to look at that again. But that's good to know, Beaulieu. Now, I'm not going to look at every player here. You guys wanted to see Lofthouse, so here you go. Mid-80s almost everywhere in the offensive category already. Next year, this guy's going to be ready for sure. Defensive category slowly going up. Athleticism slowly going up. But these guys are the guys who get better in the offseason switchover, right? They'd have more total progress experience if they played NHL games. But still, he's only 20 years old. I'm pretty sure he still has that AA. Can I check him? No, I can't check his player profile from here. So yeah, he's getting better. I'm not going to look at everyone. LaFontaine's going up. Monahan. Galchenyuk I do want to look at, though. Hang on. This guy's slowly going up. My original plan for Galchenyuk was a second-line center, but because we had success with the Cavalier on the third line, I'm not really against having a playmaker on the third line anymore. I used to not like it, but it proved that they can still get points. They can still get 55, 60 points, and that's great for a third-line center. So this guy may be a perfect third-line center for us in the future, but he still could become a second-line center. I'm just saying that because Lofthouse is a lot better, and Stamkos is a good first-line center as well. So maybe we're going to have to see. I'm just saying. Goaltenders, Malcolm Subban went up by 12. Here's another guy in that Doan Solani deal. All right, he's slowly going up. His reflexes category is almost in the 80s, so he's 21 years old. If he keeps the B potential for the reflexes category for another 2 years, he could be the same thing that Bernier is. Now, Bernier is our goalie of the future because Bernier still has a good 10 years in him now. But it's never a bad idea to have another goalie up and coming because you never know. He could get a boost and become all of a sudden an 85 overall goaltender. I'm not saying next year, but in another 2 years. And then I may be able to sign him long term at a cheap contract. So it's always good to have prospects coming up. He may be something good. You never know. He may be something good. So there you go. There's our progress reports of the AHL team. So now let's take a look at our opponent in the first round, the Boston Bruins, baby. Now, I think Chara retired, so I don't know what their defense looks like. But their offense, yeah, their offense is pretty good. Look at this. Lucic, Sagan, and Horton on the first line. I'd say our first line is a little bit better just because Stamkos is better than Sagan. Lucic and Brown are the same. Horton is better than Granlund, but Stamkos is 95 overall. He's like the best player in our NHL franchise right now. So I give the first line to us. Second line, Bergeron and Krejci and Caron. Caron, not the greatest for the second line, but Krejci and Bergeron, they're great. I'd say the second line probably tied because Thornton is just a little bit better than Krejci. Bergeron is better than Simmons and Connolly, but Connolly and Simmons are both better than Caron. So I'd say the second line is tied. Third line, Spencer is not that good. Marchand and Vermette, ooh, they're two perfect third line players. 85 two-way forwards, that's perfect. I'd say the third line maybe tied. It's hard to say because we do have LeCavalier back there, but still, I really like that third line. I really like Marchand and Vermette on the third line. Just Spencer brings it down a little bit. And then the fourth line, Rich Peverly, Zach Hamill, and Simeon, 77. I mean, I said before that playmakers don't belong in the third and fourth, but we had success with the Cavalier this year. So, you know what? Let's just look at their overalls. It's a pretty good fourth line. Simeon brings it down a little bit, but it's still a pretty good fourth line. Now, it's hard to say because, look, they have depth, but they also have three players who are not that good. 81, Caron, Spencer, 80, and Simeon, 77. We don't have a player on our offense that's less than 82. So I'd say we have the depth, but they're still a good team. And actually, look, they don't have a sniper anywhere. And they only have three playmakers. The rest are two-way forwards and power forwards and one tough guy. So offensively, they're a defensive-minded team. So they're good defensively on the offense. That's the thing. We're a run and gun. These guys like chip and chase shut down. So that's what you got to watch out for. They're good defensively up front. Defensively, yeah, they don't have Chara. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Boychuk, 84. Curtis Foster, 85. Mike Komisarek, are you kidding me? 84. McQuaid, 83. Scuderi, 83. Bergeron, 83. And actually, look, they're all defensive defensemen except for Bergeron. So, yeah, man, that tied in with their good defensive offenseman, and Tuukka Rask, who's a 91 overall. You know what? We may have trouble scoring goals against these guys. And it's also our playoff trend. We can only score, 2 goals so far in our franchise. Tokarski's 80, so they don't have a good backup. But with the 91 overall goaltender, two-way forwards and power forwards up the wazoo, and then defensive defensemen everywhere to be found, and good depth too. They don't have anyone below 83 on defense. We may have a tough time scoring goals against these guys. Absolutely. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. Now, Stamkos, I'm calling you out because you're 95 overall. So far, you have not been a playoff performer for us. You have not scored enough goals in any of our playoff runs so far. All right, so I really need to call you out. And we also have depth scoring. Thornton and LeCavalier and Stamkos. I'm not saying you guys got to score goals every single game, but every single game we should see some goals from the first line or the second line or the third line, okay? We have that depth. I don't want to see games where we only score 2 goals. All right, well, you know what? I'll lower that expectation. Beaulieu's been injured with a mild concussion. He's out till April 28th. All right. He's only missing like a week or so. We'll replace that. That's all right. What was I going to say? Yeah. I'll lower my expectations. I want at least 2 goals a game. I'm not going to say at least 3 because these guys are a good defenseman team. I want at least 2 goals a game. All right? And if we start losing games and we're not scoring goals, I have an ace in my back pocket, boys. All right? I have an ace in my back pocket. I'm not going to let you know just yet, but I got an ace in my back pocket. I don't want the media going around and giving confidence or taking away confidence from our starters. All right? But I do have an ace in the back pocket. So here we go. Round 1, Game 1 in Boston. Let's win one of these first 2 games and steal home ice advantage. All right, here we go. And let's get off to a lead. That was another thing. First period goals. We need them. All right, first period. Oh, okay, we got 1, but they got 2. Good God. Oh, we're not going to stand a chance if they score goals because we're going to run into games where Tuukka Rask is just on fire. It was nice LeCavalier got 1, but we cannot allow them, especially first period goals, man. Second period, just tie the game up. Second period. There we go. We tied the game up. All right, Shattenkirk. Way to go. All right, I didn't expect this. 4 goals in the first 2 periods of the series. I thought it'd be a defensive series. All right, here we go now. Here we go. Third period. Come on. Somebody step up for us. Somebody. Yes! Wayne Simmons, the second line. Way to go. All right, it's not over yet. It's not over. Power play. Come on, Bernie Mac. Come on. Oh, no. Penalty kill. Good job. Bernie Mac, we need you. We need you, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac. Yes, Bernie Mac. All right, we stole that first game. Way to go, boys. You kept them to 2, and you got what I asked for. You got us 3 goals. Way to go. Way to go. I'll give you a round of applause for that. Way to go. Woo! All right, we did what I wanted. We got the 3 goals, and we kept them to only 2. And Vinny had 2 assists, or 2 points. All right, very nice. So our first line didn't get any points that game, and we still won. So that's good. That's good. Stamkos, don't worry about it. And I look, Marc-Andre Bergeron, I've got to do a better job at looking at the transactions because of injuries. Bergeron's been injured and is considered day-to-day, so I think he'll still be playing. Yeah, both of you. All right. So here we go now. Let's simulate up ahead. So we won that first game. I'm not even going to give you guys any advice here. Just keep going here, all right? At least 2 goals a game, and we'll see what happens, all right? We're a good defensive team here. Come on now. Let's get that first period lead. First period. There we go. We got it. Wayne Simmons. All right, this guy is starting to have a good playoff run. Good. Our second line is getting points for us. And the Cavalier had 2 points as well. So it's just our first line who hasn't done anything yet, but that's fine. We have the depth. Eventually, Stamkos is going to wake up. He's got to. He's 95 overall. Come on. Second period. All right. Good job, Bernie Mac, but we need one. We need one. Third period. Come on now. We can steal the first 2 games in Boston. Come on. This is huge. Power play. It's a long one. No. Penalty kill. No. Good job. Bernie Mac. Yes! Matt Stajan on the third line. Man, that third line is doing something special for us. And yes! Shattenkirk. Man, Shattenkirk's got 2. Yes, it's an empty netter, but still, he's got 2. Bernie Mac with the shutout. Oh, baby. Like Bob Cole. Oh, baby. Here we go. Whew. Wayne Simmons, another 2 points. Bernier with the shutout. Tuukka Rask did good. But my God, yes, that third line is doing good for us, man. And you know what? That second line as well. Oh, man. Okay, I'm not going to say anything. All right? We're doing good. We are doing good. Let's see if any injuries happened. I'm not going to look at other... You guys can look at them. I'm looking for Boston. Yeah, I'm just looking for Boston because that's the only thing that really affects me. All right, so here we go now. Yep, 2 games. All right. I mean, it'd be nice to sweep these guys, but let's just take 1. All right? It'd be nice if we could take this one, but I'm expecting bad things eventually. These guys have a good team. But let's win this first game at home, and there's no way we lose 4 in a row, all right? So here we go. Come on, let's just put a stranglehold around the Boston Bruins' neck, all right? First period, and we get off to the lead again. Le Cavalier! Man, we're scoring goals, and none of them are coming from our first line. Thank God for depth. Hell yeah, baby. That's right. I have totally changed my mindset. The third line, the playmaker can be on the third line. Absolutely. Second period... Oh, we got 3. Stamkos answers. There he goes. He wakes up. And then the fourth line, LaRose and Foligno. Woohoo! We're getting goals from the first. Stamkos, he finally popped one. Simmons on the second. LeCavalier on the third. And now Foligno and LaRose on the fourth. They're stepping up as well. We're getting goals from everywhere. Here comes the depth, boys. Here comes the depth. All right, third period, we got this. There's no way Bernie Mac allows 4 goals. I'm just going to sit back and relax in my chair here. We got this. This is the time where the TV would be looking up the GM every time and I'd be smiling. All right, hell yeah, baby. And Bernie Mac doesn't allow a goal. Holy crap, back-to-back shutouts. That's what I like to see, boys. That's what I like to see. All right, we got this series. I don't want to sound too cocky because anything can happen. It's happened 3 times in the NHL. But I don't think the Boston Bruins are going to win 4 straight on us. There's no way they come back. There's no way. Bernier's on fire right now. Bernie Mac, baby. And my wild card, my ace in the hole, I don't even need to mention it because we're doing fine. Leopold's been injured with a broken wrist. All right, got to bring somebody up here. Well, that's why I picked up Morrison and Ballard. Now, Leopold is I need a defenseman. Yeah, I need a defenseman. Yeah. Ballard's not bad. Ballard's actually kind of Ballard's the same defensively. He's got better athleticism, and he's got better... Yeah, I'll bring up... Actually, I don't even think I can afford that. Hang on. If I bring up Ballard... Oh, I can! Sweet! All right, so we'll put Ballard in there. There you go. Keith Ballard, get on there. No, it doesn't affect our... Good, it only affects our penalty kill, so that's good. Get Ballard in there. There you go. Now, hopefully that injury doesn't do anything to our team here. I don't think it should. We're still okay. I don't think they're going to win 4 in a row. There's no way they come back from 3-0. Maybe a game. I'm expecting them to come out big here. But you know what? Let's just end it. Home ice advantage. Let's just end it here. All right? They've been shut out twice, so I mean, you gotta. Something's gonna break. Something's gotta give. This is going way too well. This is going way too well to be good, to be true. All right. First period, yeah, they got one. All right. Tyler Seguin stepped up and we didn't score. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Second period, all right, we didn't score another one. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Third period, time 6 why do I always keep saying time 6 celebration? Simulation. Are we gonna get shut out now? Are we going to get shut out? Oh my God, did Leopold, was he the backbone of our offense? Oh, Keith Ballard! Keith Ballard! Oh, overtime, come on boys, let's just end it. Let's just end it. Come on, overtime. Ah, Simeon! Fourth line right winger, are you? Whatever. Yeah, whatever, it's okay, whatever. We won 3 straight against these guys, and you know what? It's not like we destroyed these guys. On paper, we're actually a pretty similar team. And they have Tuukka Rask. Eventually, he's got to do something. But Keith Ballard steps up. He shows us that he wants to be a consistent player. Mike Komisarik's been injured, so good. They lost one of their defensemen. That's good for us. Leopold's, yeah, okay. We don't need to go any farther than that. All right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, boys. Don't worry. We're fine. We're fine. We lose one. We're fine. We can still come back. They're not going to win 3 more. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell we drop 4 in a row to the Boston Bruins, all right? First period, game 5. Let's just end this in Boston. First period, there you go. Get off to that lead. Steven Stamkos. All right, boys, he's finally starting to step up for us. That's his second goal in 5 games, so he's getting goals for us. Fair enough. We're getting goals from each one of our first 3 lines and even our 4th line. So we're getting depth scoring. All right, second period. Hell yeah, there's another one. Brad Stewart and Shattenkirk and Stewart and Ballard are scoring. We're getting goals from everywhere. I'm loving it. Our depth is great this year. Third period, can we end this first round and dump the Boston Bruins out of here? They're nothing without Chara and Thomas. They're nothing. And Jesus, Bernie Mac, what'd he do? It's Bernie Mac, 3rd shutout of the series. I think I was reading the comments, somebody said that Bernie Mac had 12 shutouts in the regular season. I didn't even look at that. He's got 12 shutouts in the regular season, and now he's got 3 shutouts in the playoffs. Dear God, Bernie Mac. You guys are saying, trade Bernie Mac for this guy. Trade Bernie Mac for this guy. Well, he's looking pretty good now, isn't he? Playoff performer. Dear God, and he's getting all this experience as well. And the Tampa Bay Lightning has eliminated the Boston Bruins in the first round of the NHL playoffs. Way to go. It couldn't have gone any better. I mean, yes, we could have swept them, but we weren't that much better than them. We were the 7th-seeded team, and we outed the 2nd-seeded team. Very nice. So let's take a look at our AHL team. They are down. They're down 3-1. Don't worry about it, boys. You can come back. Beaulieu's coming back. Oh, there's the difference right there. Oh, excuse me. So we'll get Beaulieu back in the mix here because I want him to get experience. Who should we? Bisson. We'll get rid of Bisson. Beaulieu, get him in there and bring him up to the first line. Fensky, you go on the second line. All right, Beaulieu, bring him up instead of Gannon. Beaulieu, bring him up instead of Gannon. Beaulieu. All right. Yep, that looks good. Yeah, I don't need to change it too much. All right, so there you go. We'll simulate ahead because don't worry, I won't miss an NHL game. I'll see when the symbol comes up. Let's simulate. Is the AHL season over? Oh, Beaulieu comes back and they win a game. All right, it's only one. It's only one. All right, the NHL, the NHL games are coming back. So I will switch back over. We'll have to take a look at our minor league team in the next one. And we got the Winnipeg Jets, the 1st-seeded team in the East. So we had to deal with the 2nd-seeded team. Now we got to deal with the 1st-seeded team. All right, pretty good though, pretty good. Let's check out our team stats, player stats for the playoffs. Yeah, why not? We'll just do this right now. That series ended pretty quickly. We'll check out our player stats. I'm pretty sure no one's going to be amazing, but you're going to see a lot of players with the same amount of points here. All right, so forwards. Let's check out points. All right, so Thornton, look at that. Thornton didn't get a single goal, but he had 6 assists in 5 games. So there you go. There's our second-line center doing something for us. LeCavalier had 5 points in 5 games. So there's our third-line center doing something for us. Connolly doing great on the second line. Simmons, that second line did great. You see what I mean? The first round for us, the second line dominated. All right, the first line was a bit weak, but we got goals from the second line and even a little bit more for a little bit less than the third line. Schwartz on the third line had 2 assists. Stamkos only had 2 goals. That's fine though, okay? Because it's depth scoring. That's fine. Stajan, 2 points on the fourth. Kelly, 2 points on the fourth. Brown had 2 points on the first. LaRose had 1 point. Foligno had 1 point. Granlund, the only guy with no points, but that's fine. You leave him up here. Okay, because now in the second round, maybe our first line gets all the points and our second line dies down a little bit. That's what depth scoring is, okay? You get goals from here, you get goals from there. Everyone's not going to produce all the time, all right? But we have a good team. We're getting balanced goal scoring here, all right? So I'm perfectly fine with Granlund not getting a single point. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Defenseman, Shattenkirk had 3 points. Ballard had 2 in 2 games, all right? Maybe we should start Ballard some more. Ekman Larson had 2. Leopold had 1 in 3 games. Hedman had 1. Stewart had 1. Allen had 0 in 5 games. That's okay. He's the defensive defenseman. And he had no points, but he still had a plus rating. So that's good, right? So yeah, no problem. We're getting points from everywhere. And let's check out Bernie Mac. Goals against average, .78. Save percentage of .970. The best goalie in the NHL, boys? Possibly? Oh my God, this could be his coming out party. All right, so there you go. There's our player stats. Let's check out the playoff tree. Let's see who went on to the second rounds. And here's your second round. The Western Conference, Chicago over San Jose. LA upset of the Vancouver Canucks once again. St. Louis over Anaheim, and Edmonton. Ooh, Edmonton. We haven't seen them go too far in the playoffs usually. Edmonton over the Nashville Predators. So Final Four in the West, Chicago, LA, Edmonton, St. Louis. And in the East, Winnipeg over Philadelphia. Tampa Bay over Boston. Pittsburgh over the Islanders. And the, Carolina Hurricanes over the Montreal Canadiens. So your Elite Eights and the Year 4 playoffs, Chicago versus LA, Edmonton versus St. Louis, Carolina versus Pittsburgh, and your Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Winnipeg Jets. Round 1 complete, boys, but we still have 3 more. Remember, I guaranteed that Stanley Cup, and we still have the ace in the hole, but we may not have to use it because our team is just firing on all cylinders right now. Good job, boys. Round 2, Winnipeg, you guys are next.